It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we have a beer from Brooklyn Brewery. This is the Butterfly Photobomb. 8.4% ABV, double IPA. And who wouldn't want to be photobombed by a butterfly? Isn't that a nice kind of thought? Especially as I'm looking out the window and I can see the cherry blossom coming on the trees, and the pear is starting to leaf on the tree. The leaves are coming out on the pear tree, that's what I was meant to say. And yeah, it's just the feeling of spring. The feeling of spring is well and truly here. It's coming up to the end of March 2025, and the thought of butterflies, and yes, this is put me, the very thought of this beer has put me in a really good mood. Just the thought of butterflies. I love nature. Double IPA, 8.4% ABV, 440 milliliter. Brooklyn Brewery. Now, Brooklyn Brewery, I've been a bit confused by them, to be honest. There's still, my question was, are Brooklyn Brewery, and I think I asked this in a previous video, and a lot of you kind of suggested that they are. My question was, have Brooklyn been bought out? Are they still independent? And the answer is, or from the comments on the YouTube section of the videos, is that yes, they are still an independent company, but a big company, somebody like Carlsberg, Marston's or Heineken, we'll have a look at the back of the can in a moment, one of those big green companies, they contract brew the beer for Brooklyn Brewery for Europe and the UK. That's my understanding, but there's still, Brooklyn Brewery is still an independent company. So that clears that up. At least, you know, if I'm wrong, or if the people who have commented in the comments box are wrong, please, of course, comment with your own comments, as, you know, perhaps they've sold some shares to a big company. Who knows? Two finger, white head. It's a kind of hazy, light straw on its way to ambery coloured beer. I'm quite excited by this new Tesco release of March 2025 because there's a lot of double IPAs, and they seem to be like West Coast. West Coast IPA seems to be making a bit of a comeback, and I'm all for that. I love Westies, absolutely love Westies. For me, on a personal level, I've seen enough of these kind of hazy IPAs, these New England IPAs. I'm a little bit bored of them. So if this is one of these, I don't know, see, it's double IPA. They haven't said if it's a hazy one, East Coast or West Coast. They've not said Brooklyn, and I've not looked at the back of the can. So a little bit of carbonation, a little bit of sediment in the suspended sediment, that haze there. Let's get the aroma. Very juicy, very, very juicy. Slight lemon and lime, grapefruit, let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Oh, that's very nice. Oh, that's very, very nice. Stone the Crows. Stone the Crows. This release from Tesco, the double IPAs have been absolutely banging. They've all been really good. This one is kind of like tangerine-like and orange-like, but very drinkable, very refreshing. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm really happy. We went through this, I'm starting to sound like an old record now, but we went through this stage of like really kind of like overly tropical, overly hazy, concentrated fruit juice beers that for me, I didn't like them. I didn't like them at all. But this is like all hops. I can taste it. I can taste that kind of pepperiness, that spiciness. I can taste the IBUs, the bitterness, even though they're probably trying to hold the IBUs on this beer back a little bit. They're trying to kind of like maybe just hold the bitterness back a little bit on this beer. It's still there. It's still coming through on the palate, and I'm all for that. I am all for that. Look at the beer. Look at the quality of the beer as I rock it back and forth. Look at the carbonation chasing that head of the glass. Absolutely wonderful. Really, really good quality. Good quality stuff. Drinkability is really good. It starts off with some malt there. There's a little bit of that kind of American sweetness to begin with. The American double IPAs of the past had this slight syrupy beginning and then a real punchy, bitter back end, which I really liked. I was a big fan of West Coast IPAs when I first started drinking them, from the likes of course, Brooklyn and Stone Brewing Company. Although Brooklyn Lager is their big, although you don't really see it that much anymore. The green label beer from Brooklyn Brewery, that was their kind of, their Pierre de Resistance, or whatever however that phrase goes. That was their beer. That was their kind of big seller. Was that really good hoppy lager. Then they, of course, they have Brooklyn Brewery. We got bits and pieces in the UK. We got little bits and pieces. I think what they're doing is quite clever. Brewing with, let's have a look. Who are they contract brewing with? This might be brewed somewhere like Sweden. They usually are. Here we are, brewed and canned in Sweden by Brooklyn, Stockholm. So they've obviously got something going on over there in Stockholm, like a brewery over there. And then imported by Carlsberg Marston's Brewing Company. So they're still an independent company. It looks like they've got a brewery in Brooklyn. They've now got a brewery in Stockholm in Sweden. And then the beer then is brought over by Carlsberg Marston's Brewing Company. They're such a big deal, aren't they now, Carlsberg Marston's? They've got their fingers absolutely everywhere. The influence of this company, I'm like slightly like because they've ruined a lot of British brewing. Have Carlsberg Marston's. You don't see Witchwood no more. You don't see Braxbeer no more. You don't really see Jennings no more. You don't really see Ringwood anymore. You don't see good old Rick Mayall's Bombardier beer anymore. Wells and Youngs, you don't really see them anymore. They really, like, I'm going to use the word damage. They really damaged the core, the integrity, the base, the real core. That's the word. They rotten the core of UK brewing. I think on a personal level. If anybody from Brooklyn are watching, then you know, on a personal level, I wouldn't want a Carlsberg or Marston's written anywhere on the can at all of my beer because of the bad taste, I suppose. The bad, you know, the moment you put Carlsberg Marston's, there's always that kind of question: are they owned by Carlsberg Marston's? Which would be a travesty if Brooklyn Brewery ever sold to Carlsberg Marston's. It really would. Yeah, but back to this beer. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It really is. It's a really, really good beer. I'm gonna rate it. It looks good. It smells good. It tastes good. I really like that. It's really orange. I love a good orange peel beer. And it's really kind of tangerine and orangey and beautiful and lovely. I like that enough to give it a Stone the Crows 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. I think out of the 3 or 4 double IPAs I've reviewed from Tesco's recently, they've all been marked quite high. Quite high. They're all kind of for £4 a can. Something's going on at Tesco. And it's no bad thing. It's no bad thing. Thanks for watching. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.